Sweat beaded her brow in the Colorado mid-morning sun. Without taking her gaze from her target, she wiped away the perspiration. Every second counted, and she had to stay ready. Negotiations had fallen apart hours ago, and the ending seemed inevitable. To save the governor's daughter, Jazz would excise the 5-year-old girl's captor. Jazz shifted, relieving the pressure against her knees, the stiffness in her hips, but the rifle remained steady. She centered her sight on the small break in the window. Having focused through the high-powered loopholed scope for hours, she waited for an opportunity for the scumbag's blonde head to move into range. They all made a mistake, sooner or later. His face or the back of his head, she didn't care, but she needed a clear shot through to the medulla oblongata. The kill had to be clean. The man had to crumple with no time to think and no reflex to pull the trigger.
Blue 4, have you acquired the target?
The question came through her earpiece loud and clear, but she spoke quietly into the microphone. Negative.
Blue 2, what is target's position?
Zone 2, pacing. He's carrying the girl, a gun at her head, a bowie on the southeast corner table. He's nervous, unpredictable.
Jazz could trust Gabe Montgomery's assessment of the situation. He, unlike his brother Luke, she could count on. And what was Luke doing in her head, anyway? Now was not the time to be thinking about the one guy she should never have let near her.
Blue 2 to Blue Leader.
Gabe's voice filtered through the communication system.
He's on the move again, going toward Zone 1. I repeat, he's headed to Zone 1.
Jazz's body froze in readiness. He was coming her way. If Blue Leader ordered the guys to rush the house, she had to be on her game. She would protect them. She wouldn't fail. The blinds fluttered. Jazz forced her breathing into a comfortable, familiar pattern.
Blue Leader, this is Blue 4. I see movement.
A blonde head peered out, face straight on front, the area between nose and teeth in clear view.
Target acquired. It's a good shot.
Can you see the girl?
He's got a gun to her head. Only a second passed before the expected order came through.
Take the shot, Blue 4.
10-4, Blue Leader.
Slowly, deliberately, Jazz exhaled and, between heartbeats, squeezed the trigger. Luke Montgomery ducked through the door of the bar, closing out the last hints of sunset behind him. He hated not knowing his enemy's identity, but he would adapt. His Army Ranger unit had always been ready for an ambush. 5 years in special ops had made him suspicious of most. On that last mission, though, even Luke had been taken in. Not again. Never again. He shifted his shoulder, the stiffness and scarring a permanent reminder of how close a bullet had come to sending him home from Afghanistan in a body bag. Lesson learned. Except for his family, Luke assumed everyone was lying. Tonight would be no different. He kept to the shadows, studying the surroundings for potential threats and quick exits. He preferred covert operations, but stealth wasn't an option here. Even he couldn't blend his 6'4" frame in this cracker box. Though he hadn't set foot in the joint in a couple of years, too many people would recognize him. A sharp rap of the cue ball hitting its target echoed like a gunshot over the raucous laughter. Nope, Sammy's bar hadn't changed. Neither had the clientele. Cops, and some of them were on the take. How many guns would turn on him if they knew he was after one of their own? It didn't matter. His informant had risked her life coming to him. She didn't want her son forced into the world of organized crime. Luke understood the need to protect a child all too well. He'd get Grace and her son out and bring down the bastards, not only the criminals who threatened her, but also the cops who enabled them. He searched the room as if he were casing the streets of Kabul for concealed insurgents. Colorado wasn't Afghanistan, but his mission was almost identical. Ferret out the liars. As an investigative journalist, he just did it with a pen these days instead of an assault rifle. Acutely focused on his surroundings, he stepped into the light and waited. Patience, something he'd learned the hard way in the field. The hum of whispers started soft